Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, people, and welcome to Footy Judge Mo. It's your footy debate on Thursday morning. Of course, for me here, it is too early for some of us here on the panel, of course, and it's still too early for some people in the UK. But big up everybody that is here. Hit that like button if you're walking in to the show. Of course, we got a great panel for you today. We're talking all things Arsenal, Chelsea. Cole Palmer could have been Kevin De Bruyne's DBT, but they let him go. Maresca has golden opportunity to make top four with Aston Villa dropping, Newcastle dropping, and nobody's actually battling them with Vicario now being injured for Spurs. I think it's theirs to take, of course, if not third. And also the question that everyone is asking on every single Arsenal channel or every single panel, can Arsenal catch Liverpool now? They played 2 games and Arsenal fans are saying we're back. We're back, we're catching Liverpool as Liverpool will fall off. There is the news about Konate's injury. I hope he's good. There is a lot of news this morning about him being okay. So check out the news later. We might drop a video about this when we know more. I'm trying to read all the reports about him. A lot of people are saying that he's okay. A lot of people are saying he's injured. Hopefully he's okay. And Man City are completely done the current moment. They don't know if Kevin De Bruyne is going to be fit to start on Sunday. They don't know if Diaz is going to be fit to start Sunday. If Man City lose Sunday, they're actually going to be they can be behind Brighton and Chelsea. They can be fifth, if I'm not mistaken. That is not, we're not used to that from Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. So hit that like button. And let me know in the comments what you think. How are you guys doing? I know it's too early for Kelk and Jess. How are you guys doing? Happy Thanksgiving first for everyone that is watching us from the UK.
I'm feeling good. I can't complain. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been on a stream with different people from different clubs, so this is gonna be really interesting. But as an Arsenal fan, I'm just glad we won that game the other day because yeah, we need more than one win.
You need more than one win.
Mm.
How are you, Kelk? Thanksgiving for you.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to all the Americans in the chat. Nina's the only one here who doesn't know what that is or doesn't care.
She knows. I think Thanksgiving.
I do, yeah, but I've never participated or been
most American holiday possible.
Lots of food, lots of people.
I have to work
tonight,
open. So I can't go to.
You guys open presents on Thanksgiving?
No, that's Christmas.
I know, but some people
it's just a big dinner.
Some people
like a big giant dinner, like turkey, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of food, a lot of stuffing, a lot of stuff.
Eat a lot of desserts. Myself a big plate of short ribs tonight, so that's gonna be
a lot of pies. Well, lots of pies. People just get a lot of pies and stuff like that. It's a big thing here, to be honest, and a big thing for shopping as well. So a lot of people go out to shop
Tomorrow's a shopping day.
Tonight,
I feel
midnight.
Like people don't go out anymore. I feel like it's all online.
Yeah. Amazon will be having some sales, but no, sometimes it depends. I've gone to like Target at midnight sometimes, but lately
I've done it once. I stood in line on Best Buy once.
For
4 hours. But really, I got a printer for $20, so that you can beat that. So
fire sale, like $75 TVs.
Stuff like this, yes.
Yeah.
It's cool. But listen, hit that like button, people. Let's get to 100 likes. All Nina's channel is in the description, of course, as usual. You know her work. Of course, she's on the Football Terrace. She goes on Dawn channel. She absolutely streams on her channel. Jess now streams every day on her channel. Not sure if she's going to stream today, but she's doing a lot of work. And also follow Jess on Instagram and TikTok. Or Instagram mainly. Does a lot of work on Instagram. She has a new setup. She posted the story yesterday for the thing. So go and follow Jess on Instagram as well. She does a lot of work there. Hit that like button. Let me do a couple of these super chats from Ryan, 16 out. Big up the panel and the YouTube goat Nina. You judge. What did I tell you about Kelleher? He's better than Ederson. My number one keeper. He's better than Alisson in 2024. You're going too far, Ryan, for some reason. That's what people do. Oh, Kelleher plays goal. He's better than Alisson. Ryan, I disagree with you. Alisson is going to come back and he's going to take that number one spot right away. I promise you this. Virgil van Dijk, a true all-timer, a master of his art, phenomenal, a Rolls Royce, a man mountain, a captain, a leader, the best. I think he's the best defender ever to play in the Premier League, in my opinion, individually. A lot of people say John Terry, but for me, it's Virgil van Dijk, just for me. I agree with you, Ryan. and I'm in love with the bold man. Arne Slot is a genius. He has played us much better than they give it to Trent Hoofball in the last 2 years. Ryan, we know that you don't like Jurgen Klopp, but this is all Jurgen Klopp's team.
How do you not like Jurgen Klopp? That's like, I feel like
Arne Slot is better than Jurgen Klopp.
Whoa. Whoa.
he hasn't even achieved anything yet, and we're just like, he's just better because he inherited a great team and they're playing good right now. I feel like that's harsh on Klopp. Like
Klopp was really good at Dortmund.
Klopp reached the semi-final, won 2 league titles with Dortmund. He reached the final, I'm sorry, won 2 league titles. I think it's great. It's actually crazy to, after 12 games in the league and just 5 games in the Champions League, to say that Arne Slot is better than Jurgen Klopp. Just,
if anything, yeah, they should be giving credit to Klopp for actually making Slot's job a lot easier for a manager that's taken over.
even the likes of Conor Bradley, it's a product, it's an academy product from your club system, right? Like the reality is, Conor Bradley would not have been Conor Bradley if Jurgen Klopp did not change the whole youth system, did not work on that, did not produce a Curtis Jones or a Harvey Elliott or these people. That's why I think it's crazy to say that all of this is Arne Slot's work. I think it's actually crazy, to be honest. Thank you, Samasi, for being a member. Greetings from Germany. LFC are the best team in the UEFA Champions League by far. Mbappe is a fraud. Mbappe is a different story. I think Mbappe is not going to be
so bad yesterday.
He's always been bad.
Like,
for the club level, he does it, yes, in Ligue 1. You do it in the La Liga and the Champions League. He's not that good anyway.
I think he peaked at the 22 World Cup final.
Yeah, maybe that's
the
it.
peak we saw from Mbappe.
Maybe that's it.
I feel like I always put an asterisk next to international tournament like performances when they don't match up to your club performances on a consistent basis. Because a lot of people raise their levels in international tournaments, and you can get a lot of luck in those competitions too. But I feel like more times than not, we've been underwhelmed from Mbappe club-wise. Maybe that's.
I said that. Would you judge a player more on club level or international level?
Club level.
Club level, because it's more consistent.
Yeah. Exactly right. And Mbappe, for me, should have won the Champions League with PSG. It's so easy to win the league in Liga with PSG. So 100% club level. And I said that on the Football Terrace. I said he's not that good. Like I've not seen.
He should have won that final too against Bayern. MSN.
Yeah.
Do it.
The Neymar thing. He should have. Neymar, Messi. No, Messi was not there.
MSN was Barcelona. No. Never mind.
Messi was not there yet. It was Neymar and Mbappe. It was Neymar and Mbappe.
Yeah.
So Mo, you could have found a lady. Actually, it wasn't supposed to be HUSAM and Jamie Phillips, and both had emergencies. This is not a ladies' stream. And by the way, Flawless should have been here for Man United. It's just and Flawless couldn't make it. It's just luck.
Maybe they're all celebrating Thanksgiving.
Maybe no. Sam had a thing that he has to attend with his family. But big up everybody. Let's start with Arsenal, with Liverpool and Arsenal and all this talk about Arsenal lately. Did everybody think that Arsenal are just back? Because I've heard Liverpool will drop off. Arsenal are back. 2 games was so good. Odegaard is this. Arteta found the best formula and all the stock. I know. I'm not going to start with Jess, actually. I'm going to start with Nina on this as a Chelsea fan. With rival.
Right over there. Well, I think for a team to be back, it has to be over at least a bit of a streak, right? We're talking 2 games, great results, scored 8 across the 2, good performances. But for me, I think, Arsenal needs to go on a bit of a run now, and I'm sure Jess would agree, to really kind of show a real indication of how back are they. Obviously, we know that there's a 11, isn't it? 11-point gap, obviously from
9.
Arsenal. Well, okay, yeah, 9 points. But
are you assuming that Arsenal will lose to West Ham or draw to West Ham?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Maybe I did my math wrong, but obviously they have to. The thing is, everyone's saying that Liverpool obviously have to drop points to get Arsenal kind of back into the race, right? Because Arsenal alone, for them to go and win all their games means that if Liverpool continue going on winning all their games, that's still a big gap to minimise. And obviously, yeah, it's not impossible. I mean, I'm seeing that obviously a lot of West Ham fans are quite up for playing Arsenal this weekend. Obviously, they beat Newcastle. That's given them a little bit of hope, but Yeah, we're looking at it mathematically as well. We're in November. Mathematically, it's possible, right? But I think that Liverpool have to have quite a big fall off in their next games and start losing. And they've been the only team that have been really consistent with their results in the league this season. So you have to kind of look at it that way. But to say that Arsenal are back, go and win your next 3-4 games, then I think you're really back, because I think they came into the season probably looking at City as their biggest title rivals, and now it's very different. Now they're looking.
Some people still do think that, by the way. Some people still think that.
Yeah, okay, but I think that if we're looking at the table and the top 3 at the moment, then they're looking at Liverpool, the title race, right? Those 9 points, that gap needs to be minimised. If you're in a title race, you're looking at just a couple points for it to be a race, right? If it goes and continues to be more than a 10-point gap, that's a little bit of a stretch for it to be a title race.
To be honest with you, I don't see Arsenal dropping points in the next games, especially if they win away at West Ham. The only game that I think Arsenal might drop points, Fulham away. Any other game that anybody think that Arsenal might drop points, especially with the way they have played in the last 2 games, I don't see them dropping points. I see actually Man City drifting away from the title race.
I mean, I think that, like, as an Arsenal fan, you can always tell when we're good and when we're not. And I think the last 2 games, it's like, okay, we've settled the ship. We'll probably go on a run now. I can't guarantee that we'll, not drop any points, but I think that we will be a lot better than we were. But the title race and whether or not we're back are 2 completely separate things. Because in order for us to be in the title race or be closer, like you guys are already saying, Liverpool has to drop points. And I think we shouldn't even, like, as Arsenal fans, we shouldn't even look at the table really until like after Christmas. I feel like, as a rule of thumb, everything before this is just kind of like a bunch of shuffling, teams getting settled. And then once you get beyond Christmas, you can start looking at, okay, well, where are we now? So I would love for us to just, like, as a fan base, to just stop talking about Liverpool dropping points and being like super desperate for it, because Liverpool look really solid, and we shouldn't be in a position in November where we're desperate for them to drop points. So let's just focus on us. We've had 2 games where we played really well. We're probably going to run now. But listen, like, just wait until after Christmas, But I do think we'll go on a little run. Will it be enough to do what we need to do, win a trophy this season? I don't know. I think the title is done, but that's just me. Maybe I'm just
What? You're a negative Arsenal.
I love how you just went on a really positive.
She did. Oh my God! Yes, she
did
built everyone up. She built everyone up, and then they're like,
I said wait until Christmas. I said wait until Christmas, see where we're at. But 9 points is a big gap.
However, before I go to Kilk in this, it takes 1 game from Liverpool, an Everton away game, a Newcastle away game, for them to drop, and then it's 6 points, and then you play them at Anfield, which is, I think, it's advantage Liverpool. When you go play any team from the big teams away from home, they're favorites to win the game, just logically speaking. So that is 6 points towards Liverpool, 3 points away from Arsenal. However, you can do it because Arsenal can put in a defensive performance. It takes 1 game. I think Arsenal are not back in the title race until they are actually back, until I see the gap is like 5 points, 6 points. At the current moment, when I'm looking at Liverpool, I'm like, where would they drop points? They're too good to drop points now. And if we reach 17, 18 games and they're 9 points ahead of Arsenal, I would actually think it's so hard for Liverpool to catch Liverpool at that time. We're 12 games in only, as Kilk said. But at the same time, Liverpool haven't dropped in form. Look at the game yesterday. They completely dismantled Real Madrid yesterday. It could have been more than this.
I feel like that's where that Liverpool game at home sticks out to me, because that was our opportunity to, in our place, to nick points off of them. And yes, it was a draw, but that should have been 3 points to us. That would have taken the deficit to 7 instead of 9, which is much different. Once they play Man City this weekend, I think we'll get a really clear picture of where we're at with Liverpool, because if they smash up Man City, no offense, I don't think they will.
Oh,
but if
I'm
they do,
expecting it. Don't worry.
You don't think they will?
Well,
Is that Anfield as well?
We're not
It's
getting
a lot. Some people predicted 2+ goal margins, 3-1s and 4-1s.
I want to be
and
I don't think that's
conservative.
outrageous.
I have to be. But yeah, if they smash up Man City
it's the
in
hope
1
that kills
week,
them.
they will have, really one team that you would expect to be able to take points off of Liverpool. That'll be 1 less team. Man City, no matter what form you're in, I think that that's one of those teams you think that could take points off of them. So they will have dismantled Real Madrid and slapped up Man City in 1 week. Liverpool are very much so a confidence team as well. Once they get going, that freight train is really hard to break down. So this weekend is really important, I think.
Do you see? Do you see your team getting any points, Kelk, from this game?
No, I'm sorry to let Arsenal fans down, but if you're expecting us to go in there and take points off of Liverpool, yeah, I'd put your money somewhere else. I don't think. I think it's going to be a slaughter on Sunday. I don't really have very much hope for anything. Excuse me.
I don't know if anybody in the chat really think that City, just say yes or no. Do you think City can get points of Liverpool? I know everything is possible, but logically speaking, I give you 5 points just to with the game. 5% or something like this.
I'll just say it would be the most Man City thing ever to go in there and get points. But yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it, unfortunately.
I think something has to be quite wrong with Liverpool at the weekend, and something very different to how they've been playing for them to drop points. No offense. I just think that how they're going and the way that the ability, like you said, Mo, it could have been more. And the way they make something out of nothing in a lot of these games, the way they've reignited some of these players that last season maybe looked a little bit with a question mark. A lot of them are now scoring, are now playing. A lot of them are making starting lineups, game in, game out. And, we've seen City, and it's a lot easier now to say that because, they've gone on this 6-game winless streak that, they'll lose this game. But I think this is about how good Liverpool are at the moment, as opposed to how poor Man City have been. It's at Anfield as well. Anfield's always been a scary place to go. But even now, it just seems like Slot has kind of reinvented them in a way that obviously great. I always say Klopp handed him over the best platter he could have. A lot of these players, Klopp kind of brought them out of their shells and he handed over players that were already up and upcoming, and also turned players like Gravenberch, like Jones, like Gakpo into these kind of machines that are doing so much, against like a Real Madrid. And I just think those factors all together against Man City situation is because I don't see what else you guys could do that you're not doing right now. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the biggest thing with City at the moment is how do you get better in this particular time? Because I think that a lot of the players have almost hit a decline at the same time where performances have kind of really dropped at the same time. Pep looks like he's not managing to kind of change something like we've always known Pep to do. He seems like those clues are kind of out the door at the minute. So I just don't see what changes from this week, last week, the week before to this weekend to prepare for a game of this magnitude at Anfield.
New manager bounce, maybe. Maybe they need a new manager bounce.
Oh, you just signed an extension. Chill out. The only change that Pep made on, on Tuesday, that gave me some sort of optimism was when he put Nunes in the midfield. Because one thing, I haven't been on a show with you in a while, Nina, because stuff has happened, but I've been very critical of the midfield about how slow they are and how old everybody is. And so the midfield on Wednesday did give me a little bit of hope. I mean, not enough to think we could get a result at Anfield, but I did like Nunez's younger, faster, taller legs next to Gundo, and I thought it made Gundo want to play a little bit better. He had a really good second half before he got subbed off. And Foden was in there also. And I've been very critical of Foden. I think he's just been bang average this season. Don't think he's been terrible, but he's been very average. He's not been great at all. But that midfield has a good balance when it comes to legs. Nunes was tracking back. He was running. So
that midfield will be eaten alive against Liverpool, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. That's a much better team than
Feyenoord. You guys are so little.
Pep actually made the change and put the young leg in there was positive.
They're so small. Like, just looking at, like, Lewis and Foden and like Bernardo Silva, I'm like,
Savio,
so
like,
small.
that
little small
team is taller. So that's something.
Physically, I don't think you can compete with Liverpool, to be honest. I don't think you can.
Oh no, they're gonna run over. They'll run over that midfield, like no doubt about it. Like,
and I'm gonna say something. I think Foden needs to change the way he plays him. He cannot be playing him in that role in the midfield, especially without anyone to cover him behind him. He needs to be playing. It is Kevin De Bruyne. What happened to Kevin De Bruyne?
Right now, I don't know what his problem. I don't know what the deal is. This has been a mystery for all City fans. We know he's been training for weeks and he's just starting to get some game time, but I would love it if he started on Saturday, even if he only or Sunday, even if it was only for like 60 minutes. Like
Who? Sorry.
De Bruyne.
Kevin De Bruyne, you know, they have been saying he's so fit for a month now, and he hasn't started a game yet,
Yeah,
which
we
is
don't know
another
what's going on.
mystery that no one knows what is going on at City.
Is there drama?
No, it's some sort of. He said it was some sort of the stuff I've heard. I think Blue Tone said it. It was I think, don't quote me. That he had some sort of nerve problem. So he had like he would do the scans and the scans showed nothing, but whenever he kicked a ball, it would hurt. So that to me just screams like there's some weird nerve problem, but I don't know. Apparently it's getting better.
I don't think if Kevin De Bruyne,
But now he's doing
doesn't
match
come
fitness,
back,
that's
I don't think
taking
I don't think you make second. Actually, if Kevin De Bruyne is not back, I don't think he makes second. The team looks dismantled, to be honest, at the current moment. Without Rodri, without Kevin De Bruyne played, with that wingers are not performing well. When you're watching them, they're making mistakes.
Like, you know, Chelsea would go back to being Chelsea without Cole Palmer. What would Liverpool be without Mo Salah? What would Arsenal be without Saka? Like,
Actually,
every
that's
team has
not
their
true,
players.
though.
No, I think she has a point. I think that's true. I feel like almost every single team has like foundational players, and when you lose them, the quality drops. But I think
remember when Liverpool lost Van Dijk when he had his ACL injury?
Actually, that's a very good point. Do you guys think if Salah is not playing well, we know he doesn't get injured often, do you think Liverpool falls off?
Yeah, he's 65% of their goals. Yes. Yes.
This is where we need HUSAM.
Yeah.
He would give you a big
Okay, but
monologue
Liverpool
about that,
have had
probably.
games and spells where Salah's been out for a while. Like when he was away,
Like yesterday?
yeah, like yesterday.
Like yesterday.
And they've still been fine. Even, you know, when Salah was away at AFCON, Liverpool was still scoring goals for fun. They did not fall off. There wasn't a drop off. There's players there that were able to fill the void. Yeah, of course, Salah, take him out. He scored. How many goals is he on right now in the league this season?
8.
Like
8 and 8.
Yeah, but he has a bunch of assists too.
Yeah, that's obviously
He's their biggest creator. So if he's
but people assume that if
there.
Salah doesn't, you don't take the goals away because I think the others will get something. Like yesterday, like against Arsenal, right? Against Chelsea, Curtis Jones scored the goal, won the penalty. Salah scored the penalty, yes, and he had the assist. But Curtis Jones scored yesterday. Cody Gakpo scored. Yes, Salah won the penalty and missed it.
Yeah, you can do that in a few games, but long term, you're gonna have problems.
But you know that Salah will not drop form in like 15 games. That doesn't happen. Doesn't happen.
But I think those are the types of absences we're talking about.
That's the kind of ifs that's the ifs I'm talking about.
Because Rodri's out for the whole
Rodri's out for the season. So he's not coming back.
True, but I think we all agree that we're past the Rodri out is the only problem at Manchester City. You know, that's just
I'm not using it as my excuse.
No, it's not
that's not my excuse. He's not the reason that Jordan's been bad. He's not the reason that the defense has been a complete mess. He's not the reason Haaland is missing a ton of chances.
Yeah, I think Man City, if they can go back in time, they would build the team a little bit differently. I think when you have a bunch of young players that aren't really as seasoned, and then you have a bunch of old guys, you have a big gap there where there's like not a lot of like experience and it just looks weird. The squad building wasn't great. And I think removing world-class players from your team can expose like major gaps in your side. And maybe Liverpool don't have as big of those gaps as maybe Arsenal and City do. As in when we took out Odegaard, baby.
Yeah.
We were going down like the Titanic. We were not good. So maybe it's more of
Do you think Cole Palmer could have been the masterpiece in that rebuild? I think he had the creativity and the way to play behind the forward as a 10. Phil Foden is not that guy. He's not creative.
Palmer would have done wonders for City right now because he is something. He's like the thing is that City have missed, and you know, it's the fact that Pep's quite reluctant to bring in these kind of like youngsters or these kind of players that could be superstars because he's so set on this kind of goal, like just really, really cohesive system that he's built with all these players that, you know, have just been doing a job for him, winning the titles, winning, you know, the Champions League, the trebles and all that sorts, that he's been quite reluctant to maybe bring in these kind of players that have something to them, are not perhaps the most polished kind of players like maybe Palmer was coming through Manchester City, you know, while he was a lot younger, but was still coming on, showing you those glimpses of brilliance, scoring in the finals. All those things actually tell you, and at any other club would be like, for example, an area Arsenal right now, every Arsenal fan is hanging on to that talent there, thinking that is a player there for the future. And City should have looked at Palmer and said, that is a player for the future. That is a player that in the season like this would have come on, changed things up, brought you that spark of creativity. Even if he was coming off the bench for starters, still would have brought on that element of freshness that City have really so missed now and are missing still.
Do you think you bet on the wrong horse, Nina, for Foden versus Palmer?
I always say hindsight's a wonderful thing. And
yes,
it's
in hindsight, of course. Of course, in hindsight, yes.
Hindsight, revisionism.
Cole Palmer is the only one that no one will sit on YouTube or a pundit and tell me, yeah, we saw this coming. The guy played all of his career 600 minutes for Man City in the Premier League. You can't tell me that in these 600 minutes you saw the talent. You didn't. No one saw them. So now in hindsight, yes, but Pep should have known that Palmer is more creative than Foden. And everyone at City should have known that this guy can be the deputy for Kevin De Bruyne. Phil Foden is not a creative footballer. He's a direct footballer who likes to score. He's not the guy that has an eye for a pass from deep like Cole Palmer. He's not the guy that has the cross like Cole Palmer. He's not the guy that will dribble like Cole Palmer. You should have seen this. You have had this kid for a while now. You should have seen that Cole Palmer. Now they're looking, okay, let's get Verts. Let's try Musiala. Oh, how about this guy? How about that guy to be creative? Well, no one is going to be Kevin De Bruyne. So you had one for free in your academy and you sold them for how much? 35 million pounds. And now you're going to go have to.
I think. Yeah, not enough, clearly.
Exactly not enough. And I'm thinking you made one of the worst mistakes, to be honest, is selling Cole Palmer to
And it's not like Palmer necessarily wanted a way out of City. He just knew that he was good enough to play week in, week out at a top club in the Premier League and not be, you know, on the bench or coming off. And he truly valued that as a player. And I think that's really important to know your self-value as well, to be very self-aware and know that if you're good enough, you can go somewhere and play. And he said that. Everyone, of course, would want to stay and be, you know, at a club that's winning and competing for titles year in, year out. But actually, for some players, it's a lot more important to be playing regularly, to be getting picked over other talented players. And obviously it was very easy for Cole Palmer to quickly cement his place in Chelsea last season because, you know, I'm a Chelsea fan. I won't shy away from it. He was literally carrying us last year. So the fact that he knew that he could move away and he saw that he didn't have a place in this kind of City team as a regular starter, and he thought, yeah, I'll go. And, you know, that Pep fully well knew that would happen, you know, that Palmer wanted to play.
People in the chat that think Palmer wanted to leave, he publicly said, I wanted just to play. I didn't want to leave. He just wanted to play.
Yeah.
The boy just had his chance because Mares left, and that was supposed to be his chance. But then they bought Doku, and so, geez.
Oh, Jay, he preferred.
It's even worse.
Because Cole Palmer,
he saw when they bought Doku, he was like, "Oh, that guy's gonna take my minutes," and so he left. But one thing we're also forgetting, and again, like Nina says, hindsight is a wonderful thing. Cole Palmer is never getting that free roll at Man City. Like no one is. The only person
Kevin De Bruyne does. Kevin De Bruyne does.
And Palmer is not taking De Bruyne's minutes.
I think eventually Palmer would have had the license to have a little bit more freedom.
Kevin De Bruyne does. When you show your ability at Pep, he gives you that, which is Kevin De Bruyne showed him.
He could have. He probably would have nailed down the right wing position, I think. And then once you prove yourself out on the wing, that's when you can kind of come in the midfield. Pep is so weird about his midfield. So
of course,
I mean, it takes people forever. I mean, Foden's been trying to get in there for what, 6 years?
But honestly, I even still think
he's never going to be that guy. I said it yesterday on the show when we did the Lahwa yesterday. I said the difference between Saka, Palmer, Bruno Fernandes, Salah, and Foden is that they can play when the team is not playing well. And it's not Foden's fault. You know what I mean? It is just you're spoiled. You played in a very good team. You didn't have a lot of games when the team's not playing well. Bukayo Saka this season, and I don't want to go into this discussion again. People get upset when I go into this discussion in the chat. They've heard it many times. Arsenal have been horrible this season. Bukayo Saka created the most big chance in the league. He has like 9 assists. He contributed
from corners though.
No, 2 only.
They're not open play.
Only 2. No. Actually, only 2. Only 2.
Okay.
It's a false information out there.
One of those things that people throw out there to discredit Saka all the time, but like,
I would not discredit him.
So
I think Saka's a great player.
It just goes around and people just believe it. But Saka's he was born in
that lie has been told so many times that people started believing it.
They started believing it, exactly. But Saka was born in the trenches, though. Like I agree with Mo with the Foden thing. He's never had to like Saka. was in like one of the worst Arsenal teams I've ever seen in my whole life that made me want to quit even watching Arsenal. So he's never been sheltered, and like he went from left back. Nobody thought he can play right wing. I think sometimes you have to have a little bit of adversity. Cole Palmer has had a little bit of that too, having to like climb his way up and go to Chelsea and carry them. Foden, no, he's had a little princess treatment, and now that his team needs him, he's not really stepping up the way he needs to. So yeah, it's like, yeah, but you can't go back in time. And City's had multiple opportunities to still bring in other players, and they haven't really done it. Like, who did you guys bring in the summer?
Savinho and Gondo.
Yeah, so
Gondo wasn't even supposed to happen. That just kind of fell in their lap.
Yeah, so
they could have gone with nobody. We could have no DM right now, or no DM. That's just poor planning from the board.
Guys, listen to Luke. We got about 450 people here. Hit that like button. Let's get to 100. Guys, we're not even on 200 likes. Hit that like button and listen to Luke. Thank you, Luke, for supporting the channel. Hit that like button. People, if Liverpool win any trophies, will it be Klopp's?
If Liverpool win a trophy, will it be Klopp's?
No.
Why would it be Klopp's? He's gone.
Yeah, because they said the same thing about Arteta when he won with Emery. That is the thing.
Oh, okay. That makes sense, actually.
No.
The FA Cup with Emery's squad. I got it.
Yeah, I don't think so. But Klopp
resulted a lot better. So
Klopp will take a lot of credit, to be honest. He will take a lot of credit for rebuilding.
And he should. And he should.
Yeah, Saka. He's saying.
That's the last time I'll say that, Saad.
What was it you said?
I fell for the lie. I'm sorry. It's very early. Leave me alone.
It's all right. Like talking about Cole Palmer at Chelsea, I've had this discussion with a couple of people before, and we didn't reach a conclusion about, is Maresca not using him well? Is he not giving him the freedom he needs? Because the last time he had an actual good game was, I think, like 4 games ago. And Nina, you go to games and you watch him. João Felix stepped up. Neto stepped up. Jackson stepped up. And I feel it's not his fault, though. I feel it's the fact that, I'm going to give you an example. When Odegaard came back to Arsenal, everything goes through him. Everyone looks for Odegaard. He starts the play. He's involved in the phases of the game. I think Cole Palmer being bypassed at Chelsea now, at the current moment, in terms of the game. He's bypassed. It goes to Jackson. It goes to the wings. He's not being used to his full potential. Or I'm being just... I looked at the stats, by the way. I looked at the stats to back my claim. He passed less than before. His average passes are less than before. His average touches are less than before. His average through passes and key passes are less than before.
Does less than before by any chance mean last season?
No, this season in the beginning.
This season in the beginning. Okay. And when you said that he's not as good in the last 4 games, is that because he's
not good in terms of he's not been bad, but he's been, okay, let me give you what I mean. He's been one of the guys. He's been one of the guys at Chelsea. He's not been the outstanding player. He's not been the standout guy that he should be. You know what I mean? That's the problem. Like people think I think, he's been bad. He hasn't been bad. He has been a player, just one of the guys.
Yes, I agree. Okay, so with Palmer, and I think, against Leicester, he could have had 3 assists very easily. If the chances were finished that he created, that's 3 assists. And, Cole Palmer's the guy again. He is, in my opinion, not performing as well or being the standout player as the start of the season, purely for a tactical reason that Maresca's been experimenting with in the last few games. Saw it against Manchester United at Old Trafford. That's maybe the first kind of game where people said, oh, it's gone a little bit missing. Then Arsenal as well. And that's because, and I've explained this a couple of times in my opinion, because Maresca's been using Malo Gusto as an inverted fullback. And what has been happening is Gusto has been roaming in and around the spaces that Cole Palmer usually is given the freedom to roam around, create chances, link up with Madueke, play behind and feed Jackson, even maybe Neto when he's playing on the left. And he's not been able to do that because he's been shoved out to the touchline, so far out to the left because Gusto has been there. And I saw it against United. We looked so disjointed from that sort of playmaker that Palmer usually is in those spaces, because Gusto was there, and Gusto isn't as confident as doing even half of what Palmer does. You know, he can't play with both feet. He shut out Madueke massively. That's why he looked so isolated in many of those games as well. And I just think that when that stopped, Palmer has looked a lot better, and I think that Palmer works best when he does occupy those spaces, can get into the right half spaces, and that's where Madueke plays better as well. So I think that it's just been a case that Maresca's been making these experimental tactical choices that have, I think, inhibited some of Palmer's game. So you're right in what you say, that in those games, Palmer's kind of full ability has not been maximized because of that tactical choice, which has kind of shut him out of the game a little bit. So I think in some there's been a game of, oh, maybe he's been marked out, but I also think that just where Malo Gusto has been playing has meant that Palmer's gone way too out to the left, and that has not been his best position. It's not been where he's been most effective. But even then, Mo, I think Palmer has still managed to create a lot more chances than any of our other players as well. So I think that's something that's really important. Even in the games where he looks quite quiet, Palmer is there. He is creating. He is managing to, you know, latch balls over the defensive line and throw something more surprising. And he is still our most creative player. I think also in some games where we've noticed where Lavia has played, for example, I think Lavia is the much better ball carrier than like an Enzo Fernandez, much more physical in midfield, much better in that regard. Physicality, yes, he absolutely overpowers Enzo Fernandez. But I think what we saw, especially against Leicester, is that Enzo Fernandez provides a little bit more creativity in midfield. And that also aids Cole Palmer a little bit more as well, because that is where Cole Palmer managed to nearly get 3 assists as well, having like an Enzo kind of making these great passes, because his range of passes is absolutely amazing, but he does also have that little bit of element of creativity. So we can see at Chelsea that Maresca's still experimenting. You know, we don't look the same game in, game out, and I think that's a good thing. And I'll go back to a point where you mentioned that what was it that you said, that Cole Palmer is not the standout player? I think that's a good thing, because we actually are getting results. We're scoring goals. It means other players are stepping up, and that's what we wanted to see this season. We don't want to be Cole Palmer FC. We spent so much money. You guys all know. I don't need to remind you. We bought enough.
And that would bring me to the next point that I like about Chelsea. But go ahead.
Yeah, no,
the next point is, I actually think, and I want to get the other guys as well, the opinion. I think Chelsea are done, and Maresca is done with having 2 teams. Everyone now is integrated. There are no 2 teams anymore. There is no Conference League. There is no Premier League team. Felix is going to play. Madueke is going to play here and there. Enzo Fernandez. Anyone can start. Anyone can be benched in the league or the Conference League. And I like that from him. I like this from him. However, I think, and I've seen this with Arsenal for many years. Now bring it back to Arsenal because they have the longest coach serving at the current moment. When you have a starting 11 that is set and play with each other, you can see the synergy between the guys. You can see the consistency. You can see how the team plays. Is this a good or a bad thing for Chelsea? Chopping and changing. Enzo this game, Lavia this game, Neto, Madueke, Palmer with Felix or Palmer by himself. Is this a good or a bad thing? I have seen it sometimes being good for Arsenal. Sometimes it's been good for City and sometimes being bad for City. Pep Guardiola is known for changing personnel based on games. But also for some teams like Arsenal, it didn't work for Arsenal. Arsenal needed consistency. Do you think that is going to be a good or a bad thing?
Different.
I think it's still very... Sorry, Jess, go ahead, yeah.
Go ahead, Jess.
No, I was just going to say, I think every team is different. I don't think there's one like blueprint for one team and like everybody has to do the same thing. Pep does chop and change a little bit more, but he does, I feel like he does have his like, you know, his structure, and his structure is mostly Rodri, and then he wants to have KDB. They're going to play almost every single game, and that works for them. They can chop and change everything else. Arsenal is more of like Arteta wants like a set 11, and Klopp also had for the majority of the time like a set 11. And if you weren't in that 11, you weren't really like, you know, vibing. So I think there's different horses for different courses, and everybody has to have their own thing. It'll be interesting to see how Maresca deals with it, but I don't even think Chelsea. I feel like, you know, Arsenal being something and being London rivals, and then Maresca being like under Pep makes people feel like, okay, so what are you going to be? What are you going to be? Are you going to be more of a Pep? Are you going to be more of Arteta? What are you going to do? He needs to do his own thing. And right now it feels like it's working. As long as he has the right chemistry within the players that he has on the pitch, it can work even if you're changing things out. I think chemistry is more important than anything. And you can get that with players that don't always play with each other too. So,
But can I counter this? In the triple season, in the second half of the season, Pep didn't change. He would have changed one player here and there. I checked the lineups. They're very similar in all the games, in Champions League and in the league, actually. He would change one player if he needs rest, but he wouldn't make tactical changes the way. The reality is, Chelsea, if you look now, in the last game, they played 3 at the back. And the next game, they're going to play 4. And the game after, they're going to play. That's based on what he said. And I'm like, is that going to work? I don't know, to be honest. Changing formation every game is not something that I don't think it works long term, to be honest. I just don't see it.
But I think it's quite different in terms of kind of with Arsenal and City now, because I think, and Jess will agree, Arsenal have now kind of had a lot more continuity within their squad. There's been players and there's been similar starting 11s now for a much bigger sample of games. Whereas with Chelsea, I think we're very much still work in progress with what that kind of strongest team. There are no 2 teams, but still everyone has the strongest starting 11. And I think where we're quite different is you'll probably get Chelsea fans give you a variety of a couple different maybe starting 11s that are deemed strongest, whereas if Jess and maybe other Arsenal fans were to give their kind of strongest 11 with Arsenal, I think that would be a lot easier, and that's because of just how much time these squads have had together. And I think that, Mo, to answer your question if it's a good thing or a bad thing, at the moment it's a good thing, because we are still very much working out who fits where and kind of what this chemistry looks like, because in certain games it works differently, and it's worked well so far because we're able to kind of almost surprise our opponents. We're setting up differently based on who we're playing at the moment, and I think that's Maresca kind of working out and adapting game in, game out. At the moment, it seems great, and he is also though letting chemistries like Jess mentioned earlier form on the pitch, because that's also really important, as she said, to kind of gain that chemistry, and you don't get it when you change starting 11s game in, game out like Pochettino did last season. So I think that's really important. It's not such a drastic change for you to think, oh, it's a completely different team. I'm talking Premier League to Premier League games, but it is enough to say when a Neto performs midweek that he gets to start at the weekend and kind of see where that goes. And it means he kind of solidifies his spot there. When Sancho is back, again, that's a conversation there to have. So I think that still is very important for Chelsea, because we're still understanding ourselves. We're still learning about ourselves, and we're very much, it's working out for now. But I think when we come to the end of the season, I'll be able to tell you what our strongest team looks like and which team has been performing the absolute best.
It's a golden opportunity for Chelsea to actually get third at the current moment. Maybe. I actually think it is a golden opportunity for you. I think the reality is, because I think there won't be pressure below Chelsea. I think Newcastle, I think they're going to fall off. Exactly. I think Aston Villa are focused on the Champions League. They're going to focus on the Champions League. I think Aston Villa might be playing playoffs as well. I didn't watch the game, to be honest.
They got robbed at the end. They scored a goal and it got chalked off. And
I'm not sure if Brighton can continue. Nobody here will tell me that he will bet on Brighton, make him fourth.
But I think Brighton can actually improve. I think that they have shown that Brighton haven't necessarily been at their very best.
I like Brighton.
Brighton. Half their team is injured too, so that'll only make them better when a bunch of their players come back.
If Brighton get fourth, anyone below them from the big teams, again, I'm going to repeat that same as Man United, they should get sacked.
Brighton won't get fourth.
If Brighton make fourth, Ange Postecoglou should get sacked. Emery, unless he wins the Champions League, should get sacked. Anyone finish? Okay,
you
guys.
expect Emery to win the Champions League this year? Come on.
No. I'm saying unless.
As in if he doesn't.
Unless he loses the Champions League. I'm not thinking. I don't think he's going to win it. The reality is Brighton has a young manager that doesn't have experience. They sell their best players every summer, right? They don't have, they spend some money, but their players should not be ahead of Chelsea or Aston Villa or Newcastle. Eddie Howe should get sacked. Eddie Howe doesn't have any European football. And if he doesn't finish above Brighton, he should get sacked. I'm sorry. I stand by this. I said Man United, if they finish above anyone, they should get sacked. Maybe it is a little bit harsh.
Man United, yes. Tottenham, yes. The traditional top 6 teams, yes. But we put all this extra mustard on like Aston Villa, Newcastle. Did y'all really have expectations of them anyway? Like, let's be so for real.
I think Newcastle really want to be in Europe. I would say I'm sure they're aiming for Champions League this year, but I
just never really got it. So I'm like, if them finishing where they're at, I'm like, I don't care. I think actually the top 4 that it is now is what it's going to stay. That's what I think it's going to be. Whether or not it's the positions stay the same, I don't know. I think we're going to finish second. That's what I'm going to go with.
You think you're going to finish second and City third? You know, some people predicted City.
I didn't say City third. Did I say City third?
Ooh, City first? No.
I don't think
Hey.
City might slide just a little bit
I know.
more. You never know. You never know. But,
no, I don't think so. Let me do a couple of super chats.
That was cool.
Can Man City make Champions League knockoff with remaining games? Yes. I looked at the games. However, they play Juventus away. They play Paris Saint-Germain away.
Neither of them are lighting it up though in the Champions League, at least.
You guys know
Champions
Paris
League is
Saint-Germain are
weird this
actually.
year.
You know Paris Saint-Germain are not
Results are
even making
terrible.
the next round, right?
I
They're
think they're
below
25th.
the.
They're 25th, aren't they? Or something
Yeah,
like
they
that.
are below the actual. Like they won't even make playoffs in this
Yeah.
current rate.
So City
They're
will be fine,
25th and
essentially.
Real Madrid's 24th. Who would have thought that?
They're
It's a weird
awful.
Champions League right now.
It is. My team is the second best team in the Champions League. I haven't
I
conceded
think
a
you
goal.
guys should be the favorites. You're
We're definitely not the
favorite.
favorites.
Win
We're
the whole
definitely
thing.
Liverpool are the favorites. We're not the favorites.
Oh,
We're a bipolar team. We conceded 14 goals in 12 games in the league, and we conceded zilch in the Champions League.
If you focus on the Champions League,
No, he's not. He has to win the league. That is my
still
thing.
early.
That's
Make
not
the
fair.
charge.
That's not fair on Foden. You cannot expect him to do well when he literally is the only creative player on the team. Phil Foden is never a creative player. The back line is horrendous. The midfield can't run. Haaland has been poor.
So he's not the guy you
Haaland
say
has
he
been
is
poor.
then, because a good player will lift their team, even if the circumstances are not perfect. I feel like that's the whole point. Is Foden kind of needs things to be perfect for him to be able
Thank
to
you.
get the game off.
Okay.
I've
Well,
been
I
making
feel like
that
that's
point
what
for
we're
weeks.
saying.
So
When I say this,
You're
oh, man,
not
you have
trying
an
to cheat your
agenda
mind.
against City.
I
think
have
the
an
problem
agenda.
is
No,
not,
I'm joking. Not me. I
it's
don't have
not
an
his
agenda.
fault. The reality is, it's exactly. Palmer went to a disjointed Chelsea team. Everyone was looking at him like, can you make something happen for us? Because there's everyone around us is shit. Arsenal, Bukayo Saka this season without Odegaard was like, if you don't play, we're actually losing here. We're not making anything. While Foden hasn't ever had this, as Jess said. Never. The team has always been good. And if they're not good, nobody's looking at him to lift the team. They're looking at Kevin De Bruyne. They're looking at Rodri. They're looking at the other players. And that is the thing about Phil Foden, is that I said he needs to leave City, but fine.
I've been agreeing with you for weeks. So
I've had
I
a
just said
City
he
fan
needs to
saying
step up.
he's just one of the guys. Bermuda going to Arsenal will catch Liverpool. Here you go. Overboard again. Here we go. Will catch Liverpool. Slot has a small bench and injuries will happen. Slot plays the same players every game. Too many games to come. Slot doesn't have a small team, my friend. He doesn't. He has 2 right backs, 2 left backs, 4 center backs, 5 forwards, 5
We need
midfielders.
our hopium, Mo. Let us
Bro,
live.
it's ridiculous. Where Conor Bradley played yesterday and no Trent, Kelleher played yesterday. Okay, that's the second goalkeeper that has played more in 2024 than Alisson. Gomez can play. Tsimikas can play. Curtis Jones. Oh, who believed Curtis Jones was amazing yesterday? Oh, but they don't have depth. They still have Sabozla. They have Darwin Núñez. Jota's gonna be back. Yeah, but Gakpo scored yesterday. Oh, who thought? Huh? This is the thing that people say that Liverpool don't have depth. Yes, they do. They do have depth. The only position that they don't have depth is a DM. And Man City don't even have a starting DM available. So completely
Don't they still have Endo? Isn't Endo their DM?
But that's the whole point. They say Liverpool don't have depth. Liverpool have a deputy DM. Might not be good.
Well, yeah,
at least they have one.
Most teams don't have like a full.
You don't
backup
even
squad.
have a starting DM. I looked at the roster of Man City. They even have a starting DM because Rodri's injured. And they talk about depth. Man City don't have as much depth
we
as
don't have
Arsenal
any
and
depth this season.
They have no depth. They have no depth.
That's
Chelsea have more
That's
depth.
a small squad.
It's not a small squad. He screwed up by the signings. You have 6 forwards, but they're not good. You have Núñez, you have Gundogan, you have Kevin De Bruyne, you have Foden, you have Bernardo Silva. They just, none of them can play the
There's been some
Rodri role.
misses in the transfer market. And
Yes.
the word I heard is that the team tried to buy a backup striker. Pep specifically said no. That's
He
what
said
I've heard.
no
He
striker.
specifically said no. So I think his plan this season is that Haaland doesn't get injured.
I think that's stupid, to be honest. I think that's
Him
absolutely
and Arteta
stupid.
got that same. I'm gonna make it harder on myself.
yeah.
Kind of
I'm
thing.
gonna-
like,
Well, that's
talk-
I mean, Arteta's
we'll talk about the
is a Pep
Gyokeres thing.
disciple. And
every
so is
time I hear
Maresca.
something about Pep, I'm like, Arteta has that same. I can't stand
Where do you think
it.
you got it from?
I
Big up
know.
Sunshine.
I know.
Big up Sunshine, which is another thing, actually. And I wanted to talk about this in the last part of the show. Thank you, Sunshine. I would have invited you. I know it's Thanksgiving and you're off as well, but I didn't know. I know you work in the morning.
All the ladies are American, except for Nina.
Mo, is it time? And Kate. And Kate.
I would rather trade places. I would rather be living in England right now. I'll just say that.
It's too cold. Is it time we restart that Foden to Arsenal rumor, Mo? You know, I started this last season. I said Foden needs to leave and go to Arteta to play for Arsenal, and he would be
Now,
great.
why would you wish that on me?
He's not bad. He's not that bad. He's a good player. I think he's a good player. Listen, I'm never going to sit here and say he's not talented. He's a very talented footballer and very good. They put him on a higher pedestal than what he actually is. That's the reality. But Foden, I think Foden should go to Real Madrid and play right wing, actually, for them.
Over Rodrigo?
Rodrigo doesn't even play.
Every time the few times I see them,
he's injured.
A right winger. I know he's not happy being a right winger.
Foden.
Well, I would happily.
No, Rodrigo wants to be a left winger, but he's got a couple of people in front of him.
Respect Martinelli. He's been scoring.
Rodrigo played left wing for Arsenal. That's the kind of stuff I need. That's what you need to be wishing on me, Mo. Not this Foden nonsense.
Rodrigo playing left wing for Man City.
Kvaratskhelia for Arsenal. Kvaratskhelia for Arsenal. That is the guy.
Yeah.
We'll never get that guy.
Anybody trying to get him out of Napoli. Good luck.
He's gonna leave. I think he's gonna leave, and I think you are in for him.
But his whole life is what? He wants to go to Real. Oh, I guess he can't because there's like 50 left wings at Real Madrid.
He's never going to go to Real Madrid. Rafinha is starring at Barcelona. He's definitely not going to Barcelona. So where is he going to go? He's going to go to Arsenal or Man City or Chelsea if they get rid of Sancho.
You're just trying to gas me up.
We've been linked to Rodrigo, but I don't think I've...
Hit the like button, guys. Listen to Luke and hit the like button, people. Come on. Thank you, Luke, for supporting the channel. Gyokeres and Arsenal or Chelsea? Isak for Arsenal or Chelsea? You know that Chelsea are in line for both. If Arsenal, whatever Arsenal going to do, Chelsea is going to battle them.
I was just about to say.
Did you notice that? The article, the BBC, the BBC yesterday released an article that if Arsenal are in for Isak, if he's for sale, Chelsea are going for him. And also they are in for Gyokeres.
Yeah.
But let me ask you something before we go. Which club should the striker choose? Arsenal or Chelsea first? Anybody can take this question.
Well,
if you are in the summer, which club should you choose? Not you. You're an Arsenal fan.
Oh, so I can't do it? Okay, I can't.
No, but like if you're advising us, you're an Arsenal fan.
Okay. All right.
Seriously, which project is more appealing to a player? The current moment.
Going off the back, how many players we've attracted with our project, it's easy to say Chelsea.
You think Chelsea are closer to win trophies than Arsenal? Not now. Arsenal definitely closer.
No.
Hey,
not this year, but next year maybe.
This season. That's pretty attractive.
They could probably win the Conference League.
But I don't count that. Nobody's going to a club to win the Conference League, people.
I also think it depends on how young or old the striker is. You know, if you're looking at a Gyokeres, that could be quite attractive. He's quite young. He'd be probably...
No, Gyokeres is 26.
I feel like Gyokeres is
a Chelsea player. Young.
Me too. Do you know why? Because his career is short.
He's younger than Isak, right?
We forgot he was in the championship.
Because his career is short. People think he's young. He's not actually young. He's going to be 27 by the end of the season.
If he moves to the Prem, he'll want to come to the club that's going to win or be competitive first, right?
Which is...
But I feel like he's...
Well, it should be Arsenal.
It should be Arsenal.
I don't want Gyokeres anymore because, listen, he didn't look all that great the other night, did he?
Okay, hold on. We're not going into this.
He's in the
are you echoing what Julian
he'll
said?
Struggle in the Premier League, no matter who he plays for.
How?
This is a different league than Portuguese league.
You weren't saying that when they played Man City and battered them.
Wow.
I did. Okay, hold on.
That was a bad game.
You don't believe that, right? On a serious note, you don't believe that Gyokeres, when he goes to Arsenal, would struggle.
Me?
Yeah, you just said.
I'm just talking shit. No.
Okay.
Anybody that plays
No, because
the
that
center back is gonna get clamped.
that absolutely was a thought after the game.
Oh no, absolutely not.
A lot of people said that we didn't see the player that we think he is. He got pocketed by Gabriel and Salib.
He was okay. Like,
I
he
didn't
wasn't
think he
getting
was
any
good.
service. Yeah.
I don't think he was
I
good
don't know
actually.
if he fits their style of play because it seems like Amarim played a very like counterattack style and he thrived in that. So I don't know how he would do on like a possession-based team. But then again, I don't watch Sporting, so maybe I'm completely wrong about the style of play that he's in right now.
Hold on. Okay, hold on. Logically speaking, he played in a team with the highest position-based team in Portugal with 67%. That means he doesn't have spaces. That means it wasn't. I know that people watch compilations and think, yeah, he's running behind. But the reality is, most of the time, his team has position. By the way, same as Osimhen. When I was talking to Chelsea fans, they're like, he likes to run behind. No, he won the league with Napoli and the average 69% ball position. That means he didn't run behind and he had the ball all the time. Gyokeres doesn't play against high lines. He doesn't. His team is the most dominant team in Portugal in terms of ball position. So he would suit Arsenal. And also, just imagine Gyokeres at the end of every cross from Odegaard, every cross from Declan Rice, every cross from Saka, every ball that is played for Arsenal, every transition that is Arsenal playing sometimes. I think he would get them 20 goals in the second half of the season only. If they go for him in the January transfer window, I think he gets 20 goals. People are so protective of Kai Havertz. I just can't believe that they're not seeing how a striker would improve. No, they are.
Well, they have
Kai
to.
Havertz
I can name names. I can name names. They are friends. Nina,
Yeah.
I can name names that go on my
That's
show.
wild. It's wild.
And they still think that Kai Havertz, someone said on the show yesterday that Arsenal would have to completely change the way they play if they get Gyokeres. And I'm like, number one, so what? Right? Number two, no, you don't. No, you don't. It's not real. Gyokeres can play, can receive the ball with the back to goal and just lay it off to Odegaard or Saka. He doesn't have to do what people think, be in the box, fox in the box. I think he has a better touch than Haaland. I think he's a better football player than Haaland.
Well, that's not a very high.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say I can have a ball better.
You're right there.
He's not the benchmark, is he, Erling Haaland? But I think any Arsenal fan that thinks that he's gonna yesterday and the day always said, and Martin said that he can come in and sit on the bench and be the backup striker for Havertz.
Oh.
And I think that is absolutely crazy.
Now, who are you talking to, Mo?
Martin, you're gonna show it, Martin.
Same, who are you talking to? Come on, they bite your head.
Actually, it is not only Martin. I've seen actually a lot of people that I speak with, that I work with, not Martin only, it's not to call out Martin. Martin's a friend. Said that Kai Havertz suits Arsenal more than Gyokeres.
No, we need.
And by the way, some Chelsea fans said that. By the way, Nina, some Chelsea fans said that after watching the Arsenal game about Jackson. That his link-up play is better. No, we need Jackson more. Some people watched the Arsenal game versus Sporting and made the conclusion that no, we like our striker more.
Well, no, I definitely think we need an improvement on Kai. That's for sure. But I do think Chelsea hit the lottery with Nicholas Jackson, and they should keep him for sure. I think he's borderline world class, and so you don't need to go out and get anybody else. Make sure Maresca knows that.
What about Nico?
Yeah.
You're just saying that because you don't want him to get who you're targeting.
I mean, Nico had to work out. Had to.
I actually think. Do you think if Arsenal had Nico Jackson, he would have been better? He would have been better than Havertz.
Wait, can you repeat that?
I mean, we're talking. I mean, it's splitting hairs, isn't it? They both had weird first seasons, didn't they? So it's like, I don't know. I don't want to be comparing Nico Jackson and Kai Havertz. I'm over this. Give me Isak.
Hang on, I just want to look up the stat comparison.
He's like injury prone.
Well, yeah, he is kind of injury prone.
How many goals has Havertz done this season?
Also, Yeah,
Havertz is
Four.
on
Kai
5
Havertz is 4 or
goals,
5. Yeah.
5 in all comp or 6 in all comp, something like that.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, he's missed a bunch of time. He like broke
But
his
you
toe.
can't do all comps when you're comparing a striker that plays in the. He doesn't even play in the Conference League,
But
Jackson.
they like to compare the two, so.
No, I actually think it's a very comparable thing. Actually, it is a very comparable thing. But the reality is, Arsenal need Gyokeres, need that guy.
Yeah,
And I
Why
don't
think
care.
they need a striker.
though? We could get someone
I think
else.
that's why you
Because
lost the league last year.
I know
You
why.
didn't have
Because
a striker to put
yes,
chances
because
away.
it's much cheaper. You know, he's like much cheaper than Isak, way
I
much
know.
cheaper than Isak. I don't think you're gonna fork 120 million pounds for Isak in
I
the
just
summer.
I don't think we're really, I mean, yes, we should be looking at Gyokeres. I just don't
He's
don't
like 90
feel that
million, I
that's
think,
somebody that we're linked to. I
euros.
don't think that that's somebody that Arteta would want. I just don't think so. I actually think he'll go to Man United, to be
Ugh.
honest.
By my career.
Listen, watching Højlund and Xerxes, it can't be easy. Amorim is
Yeah.
going to be like, Gyokeres, you need to come save me. Because these guys.
Throw
need
back
it.
to when Xerxes was his top striker when United signed him.
He was good. They ruined players. I swear they ruined players. He was
That
good.
club just ruins everything.
Hoyland was good. Then it's strange, to be honest. Let me do this super chat. Steven is calling me out. Mo, you are my guy. You have to stop hearing 3 or 4 people and call them a lot. This whole we don't want Victor or we're gonna catch Liverpool, it's a myth. Okay, so I have Gonna Souls say we're gonna catch Liverpool. Olo said we're gonna catch Liverpool. By the way, these are the people I work with, right? These are people I work with. What do you want me to do? A lot of my viewers think they're gonna catch Liverpool. About Gyokeres, it's just maybe it's not a lot, Kevin, but some people think that, and I work with them. So, and then we hear different opinions from Jess, from sometimes from Martin, from other people as well. So I have to talk about it. This is how it works. When you have an opinion, you talk about it. Ryan is saying, Jurgen is like my second dad. And from 2018 to April 2022, he was the best in the world. Jurgen was never the best in the world because Pep was there. Last 2 years, let me not speak. Nina's the best thing about Chelsea. Okay.
I agree.
Such a wide variety of things.
It's been in £5. Is that
In
£5? You got a lot of information out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan. But to be honest, from 2018 to 2022, you cannot say he's the best because Ancelotti won 2 Champions Leagues and Ancelotti and Pep won 4 league titles. So no, Ryan. No Roman, no cry. I think, Luke, they are good now.
Yeah.
They're good.
And Todd Bowley is willing to invest like Roman did. That's the big difference for me for if someone's picking a striker or where they want to go between Chelsea and Arsenal. Todd Bowley's going to spend money. He's spent $1 billion already.
You know what, guys? I think it's actually
Arsenal
crazy.
Owner Stan Kroenke just wants to collect the dividends and make top 4. I don't think he actually.
You guys know? I genuinely think it's crazy.
That's not true.
What is?
He would have invested more in your team. He would have gotten you a striker this summer. If you wanted to win, you bought another defender, which you didn't really technically need.
But then we can't do the whole Arteta spent almost $1 billion and da da da. Like it can't be both things at the same time. It can't be that we're cheap and the Cronkies don't spend, but then anytime we don't make what we're supposed to, then Arteta spent 700 million or whatever and blah blah blah. We've spent a lot. We've just spent a lot on defenders.
They spent a lot early. They wasted a lot of money early on, and then I think they tightened the purse strings because they had wasted all that money early on.
But we spent 200 million last summer, like not this past summer, but the summer prior.
Were you happy with your summer window?
Girl, no. I crashed out so bad. I crashed out so bad on that. No.
Yeah, because you were so close to winning a title, and then that was your summer window. So that tells me that they're not willing to make like the big investment because you were so close to the title.
I don't agree that means that they're not willing to invest, to be honest. Like if they weren't willing to invest, they would have never invested.
You're the first one to say this. She's actually a lot of people banter Arsenal and say Arteta spend that much money, and then on the other hand, like, but your owners don't want to spend and they don't want to back the team. That doesn't add up. Choose one or
They
the
spent
other.
money on a lot of junk early on. What
Yeah, but that's
Pepe
not
was
the
what, like
owner's
80
fault, by
million
the
or
way.
something? Like
That's not the
that's where a
owner's
big amount of
fault,
that
Kel.
money comes from.
Yeah, what,
But
can I
that's
can
not
I
the
add,
owner's
They're this
fault.
close to-
can I
they're
add
this
a little
close
bit
to
of
a title,
context to this?
and they clearly need a striker, and they went and bought a bunch of defenders this summer. So I'm not.
How is that the owner's
Well,
fault, though? They give.
But
They
he's
give
the one
Can I
writing the
add a little
checks.
bit of context though, Mo? Because I do feel like maybe this is just my Arsenal tinted glasses, but we did start our rebuild during the pandemic and nobody could spend any money. So yeah, early on, we didn't buy a lot. Like we got Willian, but they did invest in Thomas Partey, who is a 50 million pound release clause. That's a lot for a team like Arsenal early on. And then we bought Gabriel. From there, they've maintained at least 100 and something million every window. And then the window before last, they spent almost 250 million. 100 million on one player.
What on?
I just don't
it
think
was
that
Rice and
that's
Havertz, and who else did they get that summer?
Timber
Oh,
and
Timber,
Raya.
that's right. I keep forgetting he was that. I thought he was this summer for some odd reason.
So
Probably
yeah,
because he missed all last season.
yeah. I mean, them not investing in the right things, I think is different than them being unwilling to invest. That would be my,
It's not
my
their
little-
fault. The owners don't go and pick the players. It's the scouting team. It's the sporting
Recruitment.
director. It's not them. It's like Todd Bowley is like, hey, we're gonna spend that much money. The problem is the people they hire.
I trust
actually-
Bowley to go get the striker he needs.
But to
more
be
than
honest with you,
trust the
I
junkies
actually
do.
think it's
I'll say
absolutely
that.
crazy. I think it's crazy to think that Chelsea in the current moment are closer to trophies than Arsenal. Wallahi, I think that is
Oh,
crazy.
I don't think that. I think Arsenal are closer to trophies.
Crazy
but
as in
for now, for this
Like,
season.
Like, for example, if I'm a player and if the money is similar, okay, because you offer a lot of contracts, if the money is similar and both teams are offering the same money, I would choose Arsenal. Because even though I think maybe Arsenal struggled this season, this and that, I think Arsenal team are more complete than Chelsea in terms of like the team that is ready to win titles, win
It just-
trophies.
It won't take Chelsea as long as it took us to get
Yes.
to where we are. That's the difference between the two teams. Chelsea accelerated a lot quicker because they bought a lot more talent in a shorter period of time, and they got their manager quicker. So, or they got their manager what he needed a lot quicker. So, yeah, I think Chelsea, like they're already in the top 4 conversation. It took us so long to get there. So, yeah, I feel like we're still ahead of Chelsea. But do I feel like it's going to be 5-6 years before they? No, absolutely not. They have a totally talented team. So, but if I'm choosing between Arsenal and Chelsea right this moment, I think it's not just about who's going to spend the most. It's about who's going to platform them to be the best player that they can be and also win trophies. And I think Arteta has shown that he can bring players into his team and get them going in the right direction. Maresca can do it too, but I feel like Arteta's done it at a better level. So I would choose Arteta. The
And I
manager
actu-
matters. The manager matters too.
But also, I think if Arteta leaves Arsenal, Arsenal will get a top manager. They will go and fork the money.
Ooh.
Like for my manager, for Inzaghi, for example, whose contract in next season.
I would love
But
him.
if Inzaghi wins the league this season, listen, I want to keep Inzaghi for as long as I can. But I know that I can't compete with 15 million pounds a year. We're paying the guy 6 million euros a year. So I can't compete with that. You know what I mean? As Inter. And if he wins the league this season, there is a reason why he needs. If Arsenal go get Inzaghi, this guy is very good. He's a very good manager. So I think that would matter. If Chelsea let go of Maresca, who are they going to get if he doesn't achieve the titles? Also, Maresca is still new. That is why I think the manager matter. Would you want to play for Arteta or Inzaghi or Maresca? I would choose Arteta or Inzaghi at the current moment or someone like that. That's my choice. Bradley first game versus Madrid and man of the match. Meanwhile, Trent is busy. Oh my God.
Oh
Losing
my
players
God.
at the back post
That
to
was
lose
funny.
us. Champions League finals, a
Not
bump. To be honest with you, Ryan, you're very reactionary because Conor Bradley was not good the game before when he played. He couldn't defend and he wasn't good. Him playing against Madrid as a good player is completely different than Trent is still your best right back and you can't do that. Much respect, Mo, for having knowledgeable women. They're very knowledgeable. Of course, you can tell. They're just YouTuber. He just has been YouTuber more than me, actually, just to let you guys know. Tony saying, thank you so much for the super chat, guys. The reason why Gyokeres struggled against Arsenal was because you kind of threw me off. I don't know what we were doing, but you threw me off, Jess.
Oh no, I was just doing this. Like, No,
He literally
I'm
threw me
like,
off
sorry. No, go ahead.
because we literally tried to stop only him. If you watch our center backs, didn't give him a second. In a more complete team, he kills it easy. Imagine him. He's better than Kai. Him to Kai? No, I think Kai would be benched. I just have to say something. I think Saliba and Gabriel stopped him individually, not as a collective. Everyone marked him in an instance, and I think they were great as individuals, the same as we did against Nottingham Forest. And I think that was the difference, Tony, is that Arteta finally this season has trusted his center backs to defend individually instead of a compact. And we know that they have this in their locker. He just wasn't allowing them to do this. He wasn't trusting them for some reason. And it shows when he leaves these guys to defend individually, they were fantastic and amazing as they were last season and the season before. And he needs to do that. John Quinn is saying, long time no see, Jess. Come on, you Gunners. Yeah, she's first time on a panel, thanks to me. A panel that is not Arsenal. Bale is saying, Gyokeres is worth looking at for Arsenal. For Arsenal. His hold-up play was stopped the other night. Havertz runs his socks off every game and presses well, and it's instrumental to how we press. Gyokeres is an upgrade, though, in my opinion. Yes, I agree. Everyone, I think Gyokeres would bowl
It
up
wouldn't
Arsenal.
take
Yeah,
much
he'd
to
be a big
upgrade on
upgrade.
non-strikers. We have Gabriel Jesus and Kai Havertz as our number 9s.
Yeah,
It
they're like
won't
the same player.
take much to upgrade.
They're both pressing machines, but I don't trust either of them.
What if Havertz get you a 15, 20 goals this season? Simple
I
question.
don't care. We still need a number 9.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nothing changes. Kai Havertz could have the season of his life. We still need a number 9. I was saying this the other day that I don't think Arsenal fans remember this, like, because I'm older than I think people think I am. But we used to have Kanu and Wiltorn on our bench, and Thierry Henry was starting, and nobody blinked an eye. We can do with some more talent up front. It will be fine. Kai
This is
will
the
get
good
minutes.
This
It's
is the
fine.
good old days. It's not gonna-
What?
Good old days
Well, it
for
was back then,
Arsenal.
though. God, City had 4 strikers at one point. Now we have 1.
Yeah.
And see,
Back in like the Mancini era, it was what? It was Aguero, it was Tevez, it was Dzeko, and I forget the other one. but
Aguero, Tevez, Dzeko, and
Dzeko and-
Balotelli in one
Yeah,
team.
Balotelli. That's the one
that's
I'm forgetting.
insane.
Back in the day.
That's
Now it's just like
Carl-
early calendar bust.
Carl from Canada. Okay, I don't know who Olivia Smith is from Canada. Maybe Jess knows. Best future women player, a winger. Magic wand. What are you changing in football? Arsenal, why the contrast with the number 8 and not playing? I don't understand the super chat. Maybe just, do you know what?
Magic
She plays
wand.
for
What are you
Liverpool.
in football? Arsenal, why the contrast with number 8 and not playing? I guess.
Do they mean
Why are
Marina?
we good? Why are we good with or without Odegaard? Because Odegaard is the number 8 potentially.
And who's Olivia Smith?
She plays for Liverpool.
Oh, okay. She's a Canadian player.
Yeah,
She's a Canadian
probably.
player.
Canada's
Canada
getting
have
some
good
better.
players.
Their whole program's improving, the men and the women.
To be honest, Carl, I do
I know it's
watch
pretty good.
a lot of women's football. No time.
CONCACAF.
Well, on November 30th, you should watch the U.S. women play England. Yeah, that's gonna
You
be.
know what? I don't even watch the US men's national team.
Well, that's
You're
not
not
what we're
losing
talking
much
about.
there.
These are two completely separate things. But yeah, you should look in a couple of times and see. There's some good teams and some great players.
Yeah, let me know then. I'll watch.
I'll text you some games.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do.
Yeah.
But thank you,
But-
Carl, for the super chat. And you can't spend a lot when you don't sell well. She literally just broke down how much they spend.
We do spend a lot.
They don't sell well, but they make a lot of commercial money, so they can spend that.
Actually, that's a myth. Arsenal don't make a lot of commercial money.
They
The
don't.
revenue, yeah, no, they
Oh,
don't.
all I hear about is how they're one of the biggest clubs in England. I thought they made more money.
Actually, they don't. They make
We
We
close.
are
about-
one of the biggest. What?
They are
we
they
are one of the
are
biggest
closer to enter than what they are closer to Man City and Liverpool
In terms of commercial,
in terms of revenue.
in terms
total
of
revenue.
revenue, yeah.
Yeah, but people
hear
don't
that.
know that, and we don't make a lot of money because we don't have a big fan base because of the language. But they're closer to us than they're close to Liverpool, Man City, and Man United. Actually, shame. Let's enjoy the City downfall, people, because like what HUSAM said, they're going to spend the GTB of a country to fix the City fans do exist. They do exist. We do a lot of. I did a show with City. I had 7 City representatives.
It's not there's a lot of City fans in America. You don't realize that in England, but the team is growing a lot here. There's
I'm
City
not
fans
surprised
everywhere.
because City are the best team right now. So of course,
Yeah,
they
just
have
like
a
just
lot
like
You
the
know,
reason
Jess,
why there's a bunch of
every
United
time-
fans is because United were the best team for 20 years.
Every time I tell people that here in America, when I go to training or practice or something like this for a young club, I see the kids after the practice wearing a lot of Man City jerseys more than Man United or Arsenal or anyone. And people don't believe me. Like I see a lot of because I go to practice and we have games in the league here. There is a club that practice before us. I see more kids wearing City jersey than any other club. Okay, Real Madrid and Barcelona, right? But for
Yeah.
England, City kids, all of them. And people don't believe that. But this reality, City fan base are increasing in the world because they're just winning. But they're not winning. Big up my guy Mo on the panel. Support from India. Big up Bill. Thank you so much. But listen, people, I want to thank everyone that joined us. Hit that like button. We're very close to 300 likes. Consistently over 500 people on this show. Hopefully we'll make this regular. Hopefully HUSAM and Flawless will join us to talk Man United and Liverpool as well. Just couldn't join today. Big up all the ladies that joined us, of course. Jess, she knows Arsenal. I don't think she's going to stream today. Thanksgiving.
no,
Are
I'm gonna
you?
go eat.
She's going to go eat.
Tomorrow.
It's Thanksgiving. Kilk, thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you as always. And Nina, what do you got coming up?
Well, guys, Thursday night football is where it's at. So some
Hey.
blockbuster Heidenheim versus Chelsea action tonight. Yes.
You guys know
get locked
Heidenheim
in.
is 15th in the Bundesliga or 14th in the Bundesliga.
So, yeah, who cares about
Might
Tuesday?
tune in. There's
Wednesday
nothing on
night?
today. Oh no, never mind. There's a bunch of football
Oh, there is Roma and
God, I
Tottenham
gotta check
Hotspur
my fantasy
today.
football team, don't I?
But I'm not doing anything. I might not do content. I might do content tonight, guys. And I might not. I actually don't know. Depends on my wife, what she decides. It's her decision. It's Thanksgiving. I want to thank everyone that joined us. Make sure to support everyone on this panel. Jess's channel is in the description. She's on the way to 30K. Go and support her. Nina as well. You're on the way to 20K. You passed 10K yet?
Very funny. No, Mo. But if everyone
Okay.
can subscribe, I'll be close.
If you guys can go and support Nina, of course, she's on the Football Terrace often and she's on Dawn and she has her own channel. So go and support her. Does a lot
And
of Chelsea
Fan
content.
TV as well. Check out Chelsea Fan TV.
Oh, yeah, you do a lot of stuff there. Yes. Well, yeah. So, guys, make sure to support them and we'll see you guys soon. This will take you to HUSAM where he has LB and Dio. I'll be watching that.
Oh God.
We'll see you guys. I will be. Appreciate you guys and we're
He's
out of
going
here,
to set.
people.